Hi, everybody. This is Andrew Henderson with another I Used to Be Fat and You Can Used to Be Fat too video. And today I want to talk about multitasking your goals and dealing with setbacks. So I have three goals in my life: to be as physically fit and healthy as I can be, to be as financially fit and healthy as I can be, and to have my relationships be as fit and healthy as they can be. And unfortunately, very rarely do I move forward in all three of those areas at the same time. In fact, I'm lucky if I move forward in one of them, right? And that means that at least one, if not two, of these three tracks that I'm on aren't moving the way I would like. And so I've had to learn how to deal with that. How do I continue to be aggressive and motivated and passionate and committed to these things when sometimes these things don't work out so well? And what I've learned is that I need to focus on action and not outcome, right? I've mentioned before that I do true up with myself at least twice a month. I have an appointment where I sit down and I measure my results. And that's the time when measuring results is appropriate, right? That's the time when you really need to be honest with yourself and say, okay, did the actions I took in the last 2 weeks, did those get me where I wanted to go, or did they not? Did they have the results that I wanted to? I thought they were going to be positive. Were they positive? That's fine. But on a day-to-day basis, I think that's quite dangerous, actually. What I tend to focus on instead is making sure that every single day I have at least one affirmative action planned to move towards each one of these goals on each one of these paths, right? And that way, I'm not held hostage by outcomes. I can't control whether my body's going to build muscle today. I can't control whether I'm going to burn the appropriate amount of calories. I can't control whether my clients are going to accept the work I do or whether they're going to buy something from me. I can't control whether my subordinates are going to do what I want them to do or my peers are going to do what I want them to do. I can ask them to. I can't make them. And I can't control whether or not my family and loved ones and extended relations are going to feel closer to me or not. They're going to feel healthy with me or not. I can make sure, however, that I go to the gym every day and that I eat properly and that I set clear expectations and that I clearly communicate with my clients and my coworkers. I can make sure that I properly plan my day. I can make sure that I affirmatively reach out to somebody every day. I can take affirmative action, right? So what I've learned to do, I try very hard to do, is to focus on taking a positive action, at least one, if not more, every single day for each one of these goals, right? And focus on taking action. And then that action becomes its own reward, right? It becomes its own outcome. Whether or not it pays off in the end is a whole different conversation. But at least on a day-to-day basis, I'm making progress because I'm taking action. And my other sort of cheat is the gym. So I talk about that a lot because it's super important to me. But the fact is that going to the gym is a guaranteed home run, right? Whether I build muscle that day or not doesn't really matter. It's a challenge, right? I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be uncomfortable. I know I'm going to sweat. My heart rate's going to go up and, it's going to be painful to some degree. And so it's a challenge, right? And I know every single day that when I go in there and I confront that challenge and I succeed in that challenge, then I will have succeeded that day. So I start the day with a win, with a success, with an important success. And so I guess I would put those two things together. I guarantee myself a release of endorphins and a positive success and success with something that's difficult for me to kind of get me in an achieving mindset, right? And then I know that every day I've got a task on my calendar that I can do to move forward each one of those tracks in my life. And then I just do them, right? And then every 2 weeks I check in and see the results. So in that way, I'm able to sort of compartmentalize, sort of insulate myself from good or bad results because they're both dangerous. You can get a false sense of progress and security with good results, and you can get a false sense of discouragement with bad results when in fact you're incrementally moving down the path and you're succeeding anyway. So that's my tip for the day. Just make sure that you focus on actions instead of outcomes and build yourself a little cheat. Find a way to build an action every day that you get a pretty high probability of success so that you'll feel successful and be in a successful mindset. So it works for me, and I'm pretty sure it'll work for you too. Have a great day.